What is going on, guys? It's Whateves in here, your host of Otaku Animation, and today we got a different kind of video. As you should expect from the title of this, I'm actually be talking about what makes anime an anime, in my opinion. There's a lot of videos circulating around YouTube, the internet, and everything to try to define the definition of what is anime and how to differentiate from the ones that are from America. You know, like what makes anime the anime? It does have to originate from like an Asian popularity or from an Asian society like Japan or like China, North Korea, whatever like that, or like can an American make a show and be called an anime? I don't know if I'm phrasing this right, but you can get the terms that I'm trying to say here. So I thought in this video I can tell you my opinion on what I think an anime is an anime, because after all, this is my channel, so I want to talk about what I want to talk about instead of just talking about like shows. So we're gonna talk about this real quick. Besides of the use of the meme, Cory in the House is actually depicted as an anime to many people around the world, and even there's a website that classifies it as an anime. As much as it is a meme, people do consider it an actual anime and just think of this overall physique of it, you could say, and really I wouldn't count that as an anime. For one thing, anime is a derivative from animation from Japan, and so what Japanese thinks animation is basically cartoons to Americans, you know. So any shows that are coming out today, like Adventure Time, R.I.P., regular show, R.I.P. Wow, I'm getting depressed. Any shows that are like on Cartoon Network, Nickelodeon, Disney Channel, any of those animated cartoons, you know, to the Japanese, they'll be considered anime because of the word animation. And so with Cory in the House, I would not consider that an actual anime, and this is where also I'm going to take some information from to, you know, classify other shows as anime as well. Another show that I would like to consider that would, or like another show I want to talk about that might be considered an anime to some people, but not for most, would have to be Powerpuff Girls. Now, the way people think of Powerpuff Girls as being an anime is because of like its counterpart, Powerpuff Girls Zero, Zen, Ultra, I forget the name of it. Yeah, people think because of that, its counterpart to America should also be considered an anime. And I want to say yes to an extent. You know, there's a lot of ways to classify something as an anime, and to many people, it should be that way. There's a counterpart to it that should also be considered like a subgenre to the anime of the Powerpuff Girls or anything like that. But to me, I would not consider that. I just think it's like the Americanized version of the anime. So from that, there's like a split in between to where I don't even want to consider it an anime. And I heard the Powerpuff Girls anime was just horrendous from what I heard. And that's how it is for many shows around the U.S. or in the Americas or out here in the West. It's like many shows we put out or that directors put out are like trying to become something that they're not, even though I have no generalized information to what to consider an anime. So even if I say it's not, many people have a different opinion. That's basically what this is, man. And what I want to say is my definition of anime is basically any type of show that derives from Japan or has the aesthetics of like the Japanese subplot, or like the actual like the type of content inside of a show. So like that's how I want to differentiate. I'm gonna put more emphasis on this. Shows that have an actual meaning and plot to it that can, you know, extend further to multiple episodes or seasons in an animation, kind of like Adventure Time did over with this whole thing about the mystery and stuff like that. That, if it were a debate about it becoming an anime, I would want to consider it an anime because it had a nice storyline to it, to where it progressed to all 10 seasons and overall had a generalized tone to what the show was heading, instead of just being a random episode each and single time, which was like nonsense. And so Adventure Time, with it ending and having the conclusion it did, answered so many questions, but still left some to have, you know? And that's what I would like to consider an anime. So stuff from like Clarence, right, the Cartoon Network show, that I would not consider an anime because it has no plot to it whatsoever, and it's just entertainment for kids around here, right? It doesn't have nothing to it. Cory in the House, it had a plot to it. I want to consider that an anime. And that's where like that's where I feel is the divide between the cartoons and anime. Anime has all these like tones and messages and meanings, you know, and everything about it. Shonen animes have like that generalized theme of friendship, can have everything, have like, or you become the best thing of all, like My Little Pony. I consider that an anime just because It has the plot and meaning to it, and it led somewhere with it. It just stay around just for like a silly cartoon. It had all those movies as well where they went to the IRL world instead of the pony world. I've seen the movies; they're actually pretty good and have like nice plot to it. But oh well. I'm not saying I'm a brony or anything, but I can respect the show what it is. And that's basically how I want to define this. Like all the animes that that have a nice plot to it, like Steins Gate, that was amazing anime that had a nice. It gave you so much information about the plot and like the basis of the show for what it is. It led somewhere that was actually entertaining and didn't just intrude on didn't stray off from what it was gonna be. Right, you knew what was gonna happen at a point, right? And it led somewhere completely different. And then even from the first season of the Steins Gate, you saw the video message that Okabe had to himself, right? That Okabe is the one that's in Steins Gate Zero. So even then, it still led on somewhere else and made a new season for it. That was amazing. That's considered an anime. I love it. Other shows like like The Fate, that has so many series. It has a plot to it. I've never seen it. It should be good. Check it out. And that's basically how I want to end this video off. If it has a story to it that has like nice like visuals as well. The visuals is an important thing that I want to say as well. Visuals that are like drawn out and have more like an artistic feel to it, just kind of like the animes you see back here. Ruby had a nice art style that at first I didn't like, but when it came to like the story to it, I really much enjoyed it. I didn't care how it looked like or anything like that. At first it hurt my eyes. Now I can't stop blinking whenever I watch it because it's just that intense. It should be coming out. The new season should be coming out later this year. No Game No Life with its bright aesthetics. It just made the whole show pop and was really entertaining to me. Hero Academia, bro, the amount of like work that was put into like all the fighting action and movements, that's worthy of it. That's Stranger Things, so that's just a show. Yeah, all of them had nice visuals, and that's one thing I want to also add into what makes an anime. And that's basically what this video is, man. I really have nothing much else to say about what makes an anime, but I gave you like a general tone of what I consider it. If you agree with me, go ahead and comment down below, like the video, share your thoughts here down below. And I'm gonna put a poll right there to if you want to agree with me, yes or no, that I'm right about this, or if you agree to what I'm saying, go ahead and make the poll down there for guys. But anyway, this is Wisen, and I'll catch you on another day. So, peace.